good morning to you wherever you are viewing me from. Today I want to speak to my people. I want to speak to everyone who have ears to hear and who are true and patriotic St. Lucians. I want to say I have a voice, and I will use that voice because it was not a man who gave me that voice. I want to also say to those who call me hypocrite, I want to say to them that you probably knows what it is to be a hypocrite. That's why it is so easy to identify me as a hypocrite. But I will not put water in my mouth to speak and to address some concerns about what is happening in Fair Helen. So people want to challenge me and hey, let me just show you guys something before I continue. You see this building? This building, they use almost the same materials. I personally went there when they were building this and they started to put up the sidings. And they use practically the same material that they use at St. Jude Hospital. And I went and asked the contractor. So if you can see, the building is this building. I just want to show you guys what they were speaking about when they said that there's no electric, there's no water, there is no this, there is no that at St. Jude Hospital. So let me show you guys this building that it was recently built, maybe just about a month ago. That building was completed. So there are trays in the ceiling, and those trays are what carries the pipes and the wiring. Everything is running because you see it's a high ceiling. So because it's a high ceiling, all the pipes and everything and they want to carry from one end to another or from one room to another. They run everything from the ceiling and nothing is running through the ground. Everything is from the ceiling come down. So that is what was being done at the new St. Jude Hospital. Okay? So this material is to secure the building. So if you see, there is a space in between. Here, there's a space in between there. It's a rubber like. So that is for earthquake. If there is any move in the foundation of the building, that is going to ensure that the building does not crack or anything of the sort. But everything, if you can see, you may not see properly, but inside there everything is hollow, but everything is being run in the ceiling. Okay, everything is being run in the ceiling, right? So when the people who are back home, some of them never travel, they never had the experience of traveling and seeing what is happening in the first world, they denounce vision, they denounce productivity, they denounce progress in the name of politics. Now, so yesterday, I had a live, and I was speaking about some of the comments that the Prime Minister made, what Richard Frederick said that Stephenson King admitted to him, and I was calling on the Prime Minister to unite the country. I was calling on the Prime Minister of St. Lucia to stop playing politics and do the right thing by uniting the country. And I said this morning on a post of mine that no amount of projects is going to save the SLP administration unless they be a government that is transparent and a government who is accountable to the people. And people had all different comments. Some people call me hypocrites. Listen, I have been around for a little while, so I have no difficulty in anybody wanting to call me names. Who am I? I am just another human being. Jesus himself with no sin, he was criticized. Jesus who had no sin, they said all manner of things about him. So it's not me that people are not going to say things about. I am a St. Lucian. I have my children there. I have my mother there. I have my family and friends there. And I have a voice and I will speak. I am saying to the SLP administration, unless the Prime Minister do not get to a place where he is going to be transparent with the people, he is going to be honest to the people, that no amount of whether he completes St. Jude, whether or not he finished the airport, whether or not he do 99 police station, it is not going to change the status quo. It's not going to change things for the SLP administration, notwithstanding the fact that the Prime Minister of St. Lucia said that he was the most ready to govern St. Lucia. That is what in opposition, he was the most ready to be Prime Minister to govern the economy and the country of St. Lucia. Now you hear people telling you, give him a chance. You hear people telling you, give the Prime Minister a chance. Yeah? Now you hear people saying, why people not giving Richard Frederick a chance? Why people not giving Richard Frederick a break? Everything they say is Richard Frederick, Richard Frederick. Are we insane as a people? Are we losing it? Are we so quick to forget for the past how many years? 8 years, 7 years, that Richard Frederick, as a private citizen and was well within his rights, he was on his show week after week, month after month, year after year. It was Alan Shastney. And he did everything and colluded with the Labour Party and support the vision of Philip J. Pierre in ensuring that Alan Shastney and his administration did not win the last general election. And that is his right. I have no problem. That is Richard Frederick right. At the end of the day, it is the citizens of the country to evaluate, to assess whether or not that there was value for money. When you go and you buy a product, you want to ensure that you are getting value for the money that you are removing from your pocket and paying that individual. So it was incumbent on the citizens of St. Lucia to see through what the Labour Party was talking about, to see from what Richard Frederick was speaking about, and see whether or not that it made economic sense to them. So right now the shoes is now on the other feet, that nobody should criticize Philip J. Pierre / his administration. But Philip J. Pierre said he was the most ready to govern the people of St. Lucia. And what disgusts me is the man said he knew nothing about impacts. He knew nothing about impacts when he was questioned. And people here want to call me hypocrite. So what do you now call Philip J. Pierre? For a man a week ago, he knew nothing about a particular topic. He knew nothing about it. And without anybody asking him any questions, absolutely any questions to do with impacts, that same man is now going on a tantrum, saying all sorts of things about the same topic he knew nothing about. St. Lucians, open your eyes. Let us not destroy the little that is left of Fair Helen by politics, and call a spade a spade. We need to stop the lies. We need to stop the deceits. We need to stop going on social media and character assassinating people and bringing people down. Talk about the topic. Talk about the subject. Talk about what is happening in your country. Whether you like it or not, you have to show your displeasure, or if you agree, you say you agree. But don't tell me that nobody should speak about the government. Nobody should tell me that I don't have a right to voice my concerns about what is happening in Fair Helen. No, we need to speak about it, because when they were in opposition, they had a voice. When they were in opposition, every media in the country used to share their opinion. All civil groups, we used to hear them. Now, where are they? Where are the same set of people? If you are people who have integrity, you'll have morals, you'll have values. If Alan Shastney was in government today and the state of the country is as it is right now, we would be hearing you guys. There would be strike taking place. People would probably even incite for violence to take place in the country to bring down the government. And that is not what I am saying. I'm just saying the extent that the people would have gone had it been the United Workers' Party in government. And what I'm trying to say to us, regardless who is in government, we have to take a stand. Because even Alan Shastney would to win the next general election, and there is no accountability, there's no transparency, the people will revolt, because I think that the people of St. Lucia has gotten to a point that they are fed up. And this is why I posed the question this morning. No amount of projects, no amount of finishing St. Jude, no amount of building police stations, no amount of doing the airport is going to save any administration at the moment, because the people are fed up. The people need jobs. The people need to able to be in a position to take care of their family. The people needs to be in a position where that they can fend for themselves. So what is this thing that now, because Labour Party is in power, nobody cannot speak about the issues that confront the country? Where is this coming from? And I said yesterday, if that same administration were to be governing the United Kingdom, none of them would not see the light of day in the corridors of number 10. They wouldn't be. And I gave examples of Boris Johnson. He was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom We're not talking about the Prime Minister of Little Barbados, Little St. Lucia. He was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, a first world country. And what happened? Because during COVID there was party, he had to take the road and say goodbye to political office. So we need to demand from those who said that they are most readied. I mean, St. Lucia has so much, the hypocrisy in our country is too much. The lies in our country is too much. We need to stand up stand up for something. Why are we so quiet? Our children will have to pay the consequences of the decisions of what is happening to us right now. Our children will have to face the music. How can you tell me what? Somebody asked a question to me this morning on the post. It's like, what is it that the Prime Minister is doing that is wrong? You mean to tell me nobody not recognizing every time the Prime Minister open his mouth, he don't realize that election is over and now he is the Prime Minister. He is not the Prime Minister of the Labour Party. He is the Prime Minister of an entire country that consists, whether you are red, whether you are blue wave, whether you are Flabo, whether you are Labour, whether you are Green Party, White Party, Black Party, you are the Prime Minister for all. I was calling on him to unite the country. I was calling that he can give the people of the country a time to pray for St. Lucia, because the Bible says, the Bible says, righteousness exalt a nation, sin is a reproach. My people, if we don't stand up for righteousness, if we do not stand up to see that our country is better off than what it is today, if we do not stand up to see that St. Lucia become the best that it can be, not for you, but for your children and children to come. You need to stand for your country at this point in time. We cannot allow ourselves to be a people that is we are only selfish because we're only thinking what we can gain. Come on. You ask me, what is it that is going wrong in St. Lucia? Somebody had the audacity to make me believe that St. Lucia, everything is going all right. I am not that old, but for the little years that God has allowed me to be on this earth, I have never seen St. Lucia in the state that it is right now. If it's no sugar, it's no rice. If it's not that, then the inflation. I mean, yes, we don't produce gas, and we must understand that. We don't produce gas. We understand that. But why would a government continue to bleed its citizenry with that high increase of paying for fuel when you look at places in the Eastern Caribbean countries, no other place in the Caribbean that the citizen is paying so much for fuel at the pump? So why? Why is it St. Lucians are paying so much? Philip JP go on a tantrum and he says his government is subsidizing cooking gas. From time immemorial, every administration, whether it be Labour or Flobo, They always subsidize. Why Philip JP want to fool the people of St. Lucia, making it look like this is something new? It's like he came into power and then he has created that new policy to ensure that they subsidize cooking gas for the people of St. Lucia. Then they talk about the subsidizing rice and the subsidizing. Listen, which government that have not done that? I just want to know which government that have not subsidized those things. So people, for how long will we allow politicians to fool us? For how long? For how long we will continue to allow ourselves to be mama guy by those persons who say that they want to serve? For how long we will allow it? Whilst we have parents that cannot send their children to school, whilst we have parents struggling, they cannot pay their rent. My people, tell me, the same government that says they are putting the people first, they are telling their own tenants, I will increase your rent by 2.5%. I will increase your rent by 2.5%. The same government, the government for the people, by the people, elected by the people. That is the government. And we ask, what is Philip JP doing wrong? He is a humble man. He is one of us. And then you go into the diaspora and you want to give incentives to people who have their children in the diaspora to come back home with business ideas. You're willing to give them incentives. You're willing to make it feasible so that they can invest and come back home. But then we are playing politics and say, Alan Shastley, he's not one of us. He spent all his time in Trinidad. He spent all his time in Trinidad. But you go into the diaspora where St. Lucians have migrated, their children, all their life, being in the diaspora, whether it's Canada, whether it's France, whether it's the United Kingdom, whether it's in the United States, because the Prime Minister was here. He was in was it 2 Saturdays ago, thereabout, he was in the UK. I went to Black History Month. I went to an event to do with Black History Month, and I did not go. I did not attend. Because the Prime Minister have not understood that St. Lucians now more than ever before is listening and paying attention to all sides. It's no longer St. Lucians just listen to Alan Shastley. It's no longer that St. Lucians just listen to Philip JP. They listen to the arguments on all sides. And St. Lucians are now weighing it. St. Lucians now are trying to analyze, scrutinize, and try to make sense out of what is happening. So, the Prime Minister said that impacts is not his cross. The Prime Minister said he came and he found impacts. So let me ask you, did the Prime Minister not aware that governance is about continuation. If Philip J.P. were to demit office come the next general election, as he himself has confessed that that is what's going to happen, because the people of St. Lucia change government every 5 years. So he has already admitted that he is not going to be the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia. But if, for argument's sake, if the Prime Minister demits office in the next general election, and whoever would to replace him, and that incoming Prime Minister would have to deal with whatever issues that matters to the governance of the country. So I don't understand the Prime Minister making you believe that impacts was reserved there just for him, and that he should deal with impacts. My brother, if you don't want to deal with impacts, do the honorable thing and resign. If you do not want to deal with impacts, Prime Minister, then resign. Because as long you remain Prime Minister, the people have a right to question you. The people have a right to ask you. The people have a right to find out what is your administration doing where impacts is concerned. Because you are the Prime Minister of the country. Why didn't you say the National Trust? You came and find it there. It's not your cross. As soon as you came in, you attended to the National Trust. So, the Prime Minister has taken a new role of cherry picking. The Prime Minister take a new role. He wants to cherry pick what he will deal with and what he is not going to deal with. That's how I have to, that is my understanding of what the Prime Minister is saying. Because whoever forms the next government will still have to deal with whatever issues that is unresolved or that needs to be done. Is it not true, my people? Is it not true that Philip J.P. is paying for loans? Listen to me well. Is it not true that Philip J.P. is paying for loans that were taken probably as way back as when Ken Edwin was Prime Minister? Tell him not to pay for it. Tell Philip J.P. do not honor the commitment of paying the loans that Ken Edwin took, or Stephenson King took, or Alan Shasney took. Because this Prime Minister is just showing how pathetic and ridiculous his statement is. Governance is continuity. Whoever comes in have to continue and to deal with the things that needs dealing with. So you cannot cherry pick and say impacts is not your cross. The reason why Alan Shasney is out is because the people of St. Lucia felt, for one reason or the other, that maybe he didn't do a good job. Maybe the people of St. Lucia felt that he was a lousy Prime Minister. Maybe the people of St. Lucia felt that all these projects that he was doing, that was not what mattered to them. And this is why I said in my post, that no amount of projects is going to save the SLP administration. The people want accountability. The people want to trust the police. The people want to know about the economic welfare. The people want to know how they will pay their bills. The people want to know how, when they fall sick, where will they go? Where will they get assistance? Philip J. Pierre and his administration need to stop the blame game and recognize they have given them a responsibility to govern the country, and we cannot play yellow and we cannot play red, blue or green, but we have to demand accountability from the powers that be. Listen, many of you on this life, I want to ask you a question. In the private sector, if you had a general manager overseeing the private sector, and that general manager was behaving and speaking in the manner that our current prime minister is speaking, tell me what you think the managing director would have done. Business in the private sector is strive on productivity, is strive on accountability. You think Lucilec, you think Lucilec, MNC, Glass, those private sector businesses, if they have people that are not performing, if they have people that is not showing accountability and showing that they are responsible in the responsibility that they are given, what do you think will become of them? What do you think will become of them? There will be no more. They will have to hit the road running. So this is a call to the people of St. Lucia, regardless which color, you need to demand accountability. You need to demand that they are transparent with the people, especially the Philip J. Pierre administration, because this is what he campaigned about. He said that he was a government of inclusion. He's a government of accountability. Are you forgetting? Are you guys forgetting that is what Philip J. Pierre campaigned on? Do you forget about what Philip J. Pierre spoke about crime? Now look at crime in St. Lucia. My people can label me what they want. I have a voice and I'm going to use it. I'm going to speak because I am a St. Lucian. I have just as equal rights as anybody in the Labour Party to speak on the affairs of Fair Helen. And nobody will decide when I speak on politics or when I don't. It is becoming unbearable. It is becoming unbearable. It looked like Dominica will finish the airport whilst we are still struggling. So what should we do? Our own airport. Our prime minister is saying that he doesn't know about double floor, where you have this person allow Dominica, our own prime minister, you know, he doesn't know about, the prime minister travels. My people, don't you want the best for your country? Don't you want the best for Fair Helen? Come on, my people. We should want what is best for our country. We should want to see that we have a state-of-the-art international airport. And what was proposed by the former administration, there was a head tax. So it means that 95% of the people who use the airport is tourism, is the tourists. So the tourists would be the one literally paying for that airport. So what is wrong that we cannot have a state-of-the-art international airport? That we cannot have a state-of-the-art international airport. Jesus Christ, that person not. The international airport. What is wrong that we, oh goodness me, this person wouldn't allow me to finish my life. People, we need to demand, we deserve the very best. Because whilst the Prime Minister saying to you that we shouldn't have an airport where you have arrivals at the bottom, departures at the top, he goes everywhere in the world and he gets, Jesus Christ, that person really not giving me a chance. This Prime Minister, he travels, he goes from one place to another, and he has seen what airports look like in other countries, other parts of the world. The Prime Minister has traveled, and I'm sure he has seen what hospitals look like. So why would that same Prime Minister do not want St. Lucia to have the best? Imagine in Alan Chastanet administration, people were saying, why Alan Chastanet want to develop St. Lucia like a little Miami? They said, why Alan Chastanet want to develop St. Lucia like a little Miami? But the very same St. Lucians who are speaking and spewing that garbage, they jump on a plane and they go to Miami. My people, let me say something. We need to demand greater level of accountability. We need to demand that we get more for less. We need to get more from less, from those that was entrusted to lead our country. And we should not be silenced. And I'm not saying that because it's Philip J.P. that is in government. I am saying it because Philip J.P. said so much when he was in opposition. That's right, accountability is key. And the man ran a campaign on accountability. He said there was no accountability in the Alan Chastanet government. They paint Guy, they paint everybody. Those people, everything was wrong about them. So now you are there for crying loud. We want to see that accountability that you speak about. Is it too much to ask? We are only asking after watching your credentials, after we watch your resume, after we watch your proposal, We saw that you were demanding for accountability. We saw that you were demanding for transparency. And we say, yes, finally, we're going to get a government that is going to stand for something. And the very same things you complain about, the very case that you made for finding yourself in the corridors of the governance of this country, you now tell the people like what is wrong with them for demanding for that same level of accountability. Is Philip J. Pierre okay? Can somebody tell me, is Philip J. Pierre okay? Because you cannot tell me that you were saying accountability, transparency, and now the people are asking for that very same thing, and for you there is a problem with the people? This madness that is going on in St. Lucia needs to stop. Stephenson King should be ashamed of himself. I said it yesterday. He should be ashamed of himself for Guy Joseph to allegedly give you a bribe of 5 million, and you as Prime Minister, you never fire him. As a matter of fact, you allow him to run another election, the election of 2011. So if Guy Joseph allegedly bribed you, why is it as Prime Minister you never report it? Why is it as Prime Minister you never fire Guy Joseph? Richard Frederick, why is it all these years a man who have a track record, so to speak, in law, why is it you never took Guy Joseph to court? Why you didn't present the evidence to the police commissioner at the time? Why did you not demand to come out in the open when that happened and expose Guy? Why nothing happened then? Why? Why the haste? Now is the right time. Because, and listen to this, Richard Frederick on his program say there is no statute of limitation. But do you know, or are you know, that it was when Alan Shastney came into government, he went to the House of Parliament and he passed that law so that there will be no statute of limitation. It was Alan Shastney who passed that law so that regardless whatever you do in government, it can be 20 years, 10 years, 30 years, you can still be held accountable. This rubbish must stop. We must demand. We must demand for that accountability that Philip J. Pierre promised. Hi, Chadia. What's up, my girl? I had to come and make that live because anytime you ask questions, pertinent questions of the Labour Party, people want to take you on. But I'm going to stick to the issues. I'm going to stick to the fact that Philip J. Pierre said that he was the most readied to govern. And today, all you can say to people is, be a statesman. Be a prime minister for the people. You are the same man who spoke about anybody that there is a slight inch of dirt on them, you would fire them from your cabinet. Prime Minister, what has happened since 2021 to now? You mean you are happy with everything you have seen, you have heard about your cabinet colleagues? A lot of the things that you were criticizing when you were in opposition, you didn't have no scientific evidence, and you all were demanding for people's resignation. You all was demanding for the people to go. It was less than a year you all was asking for the Alan Shastney government to pack up and go. And now you're asking the very same people to be patient with y'all because it suits your agenda. Me gwa moun ni bagay kadi, memba ton ki bat chien noir, I ka bat chien blanc. This foolishness must stop. And people must demand that accountability from Philip J. Pierre, must demand it from all of his candidates. My people, take a look. That building, it's not too far from my home. I just live higher up there. I'm by the bus stop there. I'm by the bus stop. I'm planning to go out and get some shopping. This building here, the same material, when they were building that structure and I see they were putting up the cladding, I came to the people myself and I asked them about the material, and I told them about the hospital that was being built back home. And I was telling them the argument, and the man said to me, this is the most nonsensical argument that he have heard. Everywhere you see that space between this thing there, there's a rubber that is in the, if there's an earthquake or something, that it's not gonna break. You understand? It can hold itself. It is fireproof and everything. That's modernized structure built for years and years to come. But no. Nou pa eme rien ki bon. We don't like anything that is good. So you telling me, according to science, concrete have a lifespan of 80 to 100 years. So, the loan that the Prime Minister took from the Saudis is going to take him, what, 20 years or so to pay back that loan. By the time he finished pay that loan, it would mean the lifespan of the St. Jude Hospital, the old St. Jude Hospital, it would mean that it is of no significance and of value to the people of St. Lucia because it would have lost its strength because the lifespan of the concrete, according to science, is about 80 to 100 years. So as soon as you finish pay that loan, boom, you have to now think of building something because we are a country that is pro-hurricane. My people, tell me if that makes sense to you. Our monies are being invested into things that our children will have to pay back, but they will not get the enjoyment and the benefit of it. I'm calling on every St. Lucian. Let your voice be heard. Don't go out there playing politics. Don't go out there criticizing for criticizing sake, but tackle the issues and demand accountability. Demand to the people that were beating the pants, the people that said that they were most ready to govern the country, demand from them that you want the accountability that they promise. That's not hard. You're only asking. It's like a man come to you and he say, oh baby, I love you, I want to do everything, I want to ensure that you are happy, I want to take you out every night, I want to bring you chocolate and things. Is it wrong for you now to ask that man, because you recognize that promise or the promises that man made to you, you're not seeing that he is living up to that promise? Is it wrong for you now to ask that man, where is the love that you promise? Where is the candies that you promise? Where is the chocolate that you promised me? You promised me you'll cuddle with me every night, but every night I'm sleeping on my pillow all by myself. Where are you? One thing I can tell you, there's one man that could never leave you to sleep by yourself. That man is God. And the God that I know that I serve, he is a God of accountability. And he's a God of transparency. So you need to demand that same thing from that man who does not want to take responsibility for his actions and for his lack of vision and his lack of foresight. You need to demand it from him. I am not here to talk politics, gutter politics. I'm going to talk because I'm a St. Lucian. I have my children there, I have my mother there, I have families and I have friends. And I love my country. But the Prime Minister must understand that all it takes is for our children to just go on their phones, on their laptops, on their tablets, and to Google certain things, and it's going to come up. They will see what a hospital looks like. They'll see what a first-class international airport looks like. How many of you have been through Hiranora? And getting off the plane, you're getting wet. What is so wrong in you coming off from a plane and you don't even feel the breeze of St. Lucia until you get out through the other end? What is it wrong to demand that from your government? What is so wrong in wanting a hospital? When you go into that hospital, you walk in that hospital, move from one section to another. Emergency there. The wards are there. Everything underneath one roof. Is it wrong to demand this? If you are suffering from one ailment or another, and the weather condition, your body, it's not good for your body. Can you imagine they're taking you out from one ward in the hospital, whether on a wheelchair or on that push bed, to move from one part of the hospital, and they have to bring you outside in the rain just to get into another part of the hospital to get treatment. And you're telling me we don't need to put an end to this? We deserve better. We must demand better. And we need to call the radio stations, pick up your phone, make your own life, speak about the issues. Fear no one. The Bible says, fear not, he that can just destroy your body. Your soul is in the very hands of God. And when you are a child of God, he says that no one can pluck you out of his hands. Hey, glory. I love my God, because I know nobody. You may come and you may shoot me, and God may permit me to die if he so desire. But my soul's salvation is not in your hands. My soul's salvation is in the hands of my Creator. So I have a voice. He's here to declare and to decree and to speak. And we have to speak. We have to speak about what is affecting us, if not for ourselves, but speak for your children, speak for your grandchildren. Speak up and demand accountability, demand transparency, demand that the Prime Minister deliver to the people of St. Lucia and stop mamagaying the people and telling them that he is subsidizing fuel, like he is the only administration that subsidizes fuel. As if he is the only administration that subsidizes flour, sugar, etc. You're not the first, my brother. You came and find the policy there. And if you decide to throw one of two things into the pool of the basket, you are elected to look after the people. You're not granting them, you know. Politicians. And hear what I said. Politicians. So that does not differentiate between whether you're yellow, you blue, you green, red. Politicians must understand that they are servant to the people. Because you see all of them that is on the high horse right now, as soon as election time comes, this very same set of people will now know your house. They now want to listen to you. They now interested in hearing you. But you've been calling the radio station. You've been seeing them on the streets. You've been pleading with them. Can you imagine the Prime Minister is talking about an elderly lady who was at a match? Are you saying that that lady, she have lost all of her rights simply because she's an elderly? Why would you go into the House of Parliament and make a mockery of a citizen of a country who decides to stand up for democracy, to stand up for what she thinks is right? It doesn't matter how you see it, but it matters from her standpoint. She's the one feeling it. And you have issues as if you don't have a mother, as if you have no respect for the senior citizen of your own country. So why did you create a ministry of elderly affairs? Why? Let me tell you something. This nonsense has to stop. And I wonder, why is it that the church is so silent about what is happening in St. Lucia? Is it because they are so dependent on government for concessions to get equipment for their churches? Or because they are waiting on the government to call them to pray in the House of Parliament? I don't know if they get paid for that service or what it is. But why is the church not coming out and speak about the ills of our society? It is their responsibility. The flock is part of the wider community and by extension the country. So why are they not coming out? Why are they not speaking? Righteousness. The God I serve, He loves righteousness. And when things are not right, we need to say it's not right. And when it is wrong, whether it is yellow, whether it is red, whether it is green, we need to say it is wrong. So I applaud you, my people. I thank you for your time. Share this live. Comment. Follow. Because some people have boiled my blood to now speaking on such issues in a passionate way, the way I am doing today. Because as if because you say you are Christian, people believe you're supposed to just play a blind eye and don't say anything. Well, I want to put them on notice. They will be hearing more of me because I will come out and I will speak about the issues, and I will not be playing politics. I will say it as it is. Somebody said to me in one of my posts today about basically they were trying to say about like Alan Shastney was there and blah blah blah. And the Prime Minister fall in the same trap of talking about Alan Shastney was there. For crying loud. If in the private sector there was a manager and he wasn't performing, they get rid of that manager and they brought you in. You think the owner of the business is interested in you telling him about the previous manager? He wants to see you perform. He wants to see you deliver. He wants to see his business grow. He wants to see that he can say, yes, I can see a difference in my business. I can see, when I look at the books, I can see something is happening. And that managing director may decide, you know what? Because of your level of performance, I am willing to give you an increase because you are doing what I employ you to do. Not come and tell the director about that person was there. They didn't employ you for that. They didn't employ you for that. They employ you to bring change. They employ you so that you can deliver to the people. This is what it's about. Trying to remind the people of the past. And it would be all right, you know, if you can at least say to the director, well, you know, you remember when such and such person was there, this used to happen, but me coming in, I have come with a plan. And you can see the plan unfolding. You can see that things is happening. You can see that things is shifting. But what does it matter to me if you going to show me or tell me or bring to my attention about the past, when in the future nothing is happening? You have no plan. You have no substance. You have no vision. The Bible says without vision the people perish, and maybe that is why. And if you read the book of Proverbs, you can understand what is happening in our country, because it speaks about when we have leaders who are not subjective to the will of God, to the plan of God, the people perish. So no wonder our people are bleeding. No wonder our young men are losing their lives. No wonder the country is in the state that it is right now. Because if our Prime Minister and slash his cabinet had a plan, maybe he would not have the time of day to be speaking about the past and Alan Shastney. He would have done everything to win the hearts of the people, to give him a greater mandate come the next election. But the Prime Minister have conceded. He have come to the awareness that St. Lucians vote a new party every 5 years. So he is now saying to himself, you know what? I am prepared to throw in the towel, because I know no matter what I do, I'm not going to make it. We're not going to win, because he loves the people of St. Lucia. And he loved their choice. He loved the way they do things, which is electing a new government every 5 years. But do you know, Prime Minister, that is our biggest downfall. This man, every time he opens his mouth, he doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know how to assess, evaluate what he's saying or what he's about to say before saying it. My people, the Prime Minister was in a soil turning ceremony for the new headquarters of the police in Grozily. And don't forget that that same Prime Minister, he was asked questions about impacts. He was asked, I don't know, I never seen it, I never heard about it. Eh, mon Dieu, aidez-nous. No fini. We are finished. The man knew nothing about impacts, but turning the soil. He was called to make his contribution as Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister went on a tangent speaking about the same subject he knew nothing about, to the extent that he even called it his cross. His cross. St. Lucians, wake up. Wake up. Wake up not to be red. Wake up not to be yellow, blue, green, but wake up to be a patriotic St. Lucian, where you're going to stand up for righteousness. Call a spade, regardless who is holding it. If the spade is green, say it is green. If the spade is yellow, say it is yellow. If the spade is red, call it red. Whatever color it is, call it for what it is. So no wonder our citizens have no confidence in our police. Because when you have people like that at the helm, this is a man who says that he doesn't get involved in the daily run-ins on the affairs of the police. But you St. Lucians who are on this live, you know a whole lot better than that. And you cannot be fooled. And if probably you have been fooled once, and you are fooled twice, you say, this coming time, you will not be fooled.
It's not live. Where is it? Where is this? Live?
I'm just speaking to my people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this man do not understand that St. Lucians are intelligent people. They can read. They can see. They can hear. St. Lucians, before I sign off, I want to say I thank you for showing up. But this is not a political speech. This is a reality, rude awakening for us to demand that we need to pray for our country. We need the powers that be to give the country a national day of prayer. Let the people pray for the country. I remember when Alan Shastner gave a national day of prayer, he was mocked by the same set of people that is in government today. They mocked him. No wonder they will not concede, because I know of my fellow St. Lucian friend in the UK. He went down, I think he did wrote as well, the powers that be, asking the Prime Minister for a national day of prayer. But you know what? They are not interested. But they don't understand. It's only righteousness. There's no dilly-dally. There's no shortcut in this business. And when you cannot hear, you know, as Guama mwente na bagay kadi, Tibwai, Supagatan ukay santi. So that in English, it means if you do not hear what they are saying to you, you will feel. So when we are not prepared to hear the voice of God speaking, and God have different methodology in how he presents his message and how he try to get the attention of the leaders of the world. He is calling on them. He says in the last days, nation will be rising against nation. There will be rumors of wars. There gonna be so much things taking place. Children have no respect. Listen, I said this thing one time. If you cook a mother for a child, that child will eat the mother. But if you cook the child for the mother cannot eat his or her own child. But sad to say, we are living in a world that people don't care anymore. Our children don't care. The world is gone. You see, some people, they close their ears and they don't want to listen. But when you don't want to listen, you will feel the impact. I didn't call you on my life. And if you come and you join my life and you don't like what you are hearing, it doesn't suit your narrative, it doesn't suit your agenda, and you want to dish out insults, you can just excuse yourself. It's just a very easy way, you know. I'm not on your screen. I'm on my screen. The truth must be told. Whether you like it or you don't like it. The truth must be told. St. Lucia is in a very peculiar situation. St. Lucia is in a very slopey, downhill situation, and we need to call out our leaders. We need to call out for justice, because what is going on right now, it will be too much if we don't take a stand now to address it. Our children will pay the price. And it will be a heavy price. It will be a heavy, heavy price. Yes, Charlie, I don't blame them, my sister. They don't want to hear the truth. Because they feel that everything. How can you tell me a prime minister, he goes on television, you know? I mean, don't tell me you guys have forgotten the amount of times that they said that Alan Shastney was the biggest liar in town. Don't tell me you forget. We have to be real. Alan Shastney was called the biggest liar. Everything that Alan... So, what name we now give Philip J. The country is in the mess that it is because a prime minister failed to unite the country. He said to go in their faces and tell them, you lose. And that same prime minister is on top of a building, wherever he is, and he's calling for the country to unite. Papi show, Beatties, double standard, hypocrisy at its highest level. A man who does not see. Listen. Everything that Philip J. Pierre is giving or is dishing out, he have another tactics in taking it back from the people. So he is giving things and he's taking it back. Philip J. Pierre, you need to create jobs that are sustainable. Oh gosh. Jobs that are sustainable to the people of St. Lucia. Move that, correct that 2.5%. He needs to remove it immediately, because that 2.5% continue to affect the average St. Lucian on services. St. Lucians, we have to stand, but stand for righteousness. For righteousness. Is what going to save St. Lucia.